Hello friends, my name is Chris Bishop and I'm a student and community member at Mind Tribes, and today I'm going to be sharing with you a meditation practice on letting go. So one thing that I just wanted to mention from my experience is that letting go for me is a struggle, because often what I want to do is kind of push it down and not deal with it. David White talks about this metaphor of this little black pouch. I think he was quoting somebody else. And he says, we start out with this little black pouch on our hip from the time we're little ones, we're pequeños, and anything that comes up in our lives that we don't want to deal with, we stuff into that pouch. And eventually, at some point in our lives in middle age, we're carrying along, dragging along this bag the size of a tractor trailer and wondering why life is so difficult and it's so hard for us to get around. For me, letting go almost always has to do with me acknowledging, honoring, and feeling whatever it is that I'm feeling, and that's going to be part of the process for me. What I found that works best for me is to find out, like often for me, it's an emotion that I'm served by letting go, and finding out where whatever that is embodied within me. So in this practice today, I'm going to give cues based on where I need to let those things go, where I feel those things. If you know that you feel them someplace else, it's 100% okay, 100% legitimate. Please know that you have my support, and what I would want is for you to give yourself cues based on where you feel that emotion. So we'll start with a bit of a mindfulness practice. So go ahead and close your eyes down. And if you're choosing to do this from a seated position, if you can, stack your head over your shoulders, over your hips. Take your chin back toward whatever surface is behind you by about a ½ inch. Most of the time we walk through the world carrying our heads a bit forward. And then drop it so it's level with the ground. So visualize enough space between your chin and your throat that you could hold, say, a tennis ball. In your hands, you can do anything you like. You can gently fold them in your lap, or you can place your hands on your thighs or your knees, either palms facing down toward the earth or palms facing up toward the stars. On your next inhale, press down into your seat, grow out of the crown of your head, and leaving your posture right there, go ahead and exhale. And don't press them down, but visualize ice cubes melting. Let your shoulder blades slide down your back. Notice where you're feeling the sensation in this shape. So it could be the sensation of whatever you're seated upon, whatever surface is pressing back up into your body, or perhaps the sensation of your breath. So for me, often what's most provocative with the breath is a cool rush of air around my nostrils as I inhale, the rise and fall of my sternum, or a warm rush of air on my upper lip as I exhale. Wherever that sensation is most provocative, use that as your anchor, your focal point. You may choose to take a light mantra. As you inhale, saying to yourself, breathing in, I know I'm breathing in. And as you exhale, breathing out, I know I'm breathing out. And when you have thoughts, not if, but when you have thoughts rise up into your consciousness, you don't have to push them away. I'm just asking you to not attach to them. Recognize them for what they are, this thinking. Gently honor it with a breath, and then let it float away. So in the practice today, I'm going to be giving you some cues, asking you to move your body. So your physical body, I would like you to leave it just as it is right now, in a comfortable, alert, or relaxed position. But imagine the cues for your body that I'm giving you are for your spiritual body. And you can move your spiritual body without moving your physical body at all. You are standing out in a field, and you have 5 balloons tethered with strings in your hand. The balloons are light blue. The strings tethering them to your hand are white, and each one is labeled with black magic marker in your handwriting. The balloons are very, very filled up with fresh helium, and you can feel the pull and the tug of the helium trying to press the balloons up toward the stars. And it's not a heavy wind, but there's a light breeze. So you can feel the breeze pushing those balloons gently away from you, and only those tethers are holding them into place. And once in a while you get a little bit of a sense of vibration as those balloons collide into one another, as the tethers bring them back into place. You look up at the first balloon, and that balloon in your handwriting in black magic marker says anger. As you see the anger balloon, notice where you feel anger in your body, and if you can, feel it. So for me, this is a tightness, a constriction in the chest, like someone has a closed fist around my heart. So send a breath toward that anger and allow yourself to really feel it. As you stand in the field, you look up with your spiritual body and you notice the anger balloon starting to lift away, and that string is slipping from between the fingers of your closed hand. So there's just the tail left, peeking out between the meat of your hand and your pinky finger. And then that too is slipped into your fist, and then it's gone. And as you look up with your spiritual body, you notice the helium lifting that anger balloon up and the breeze gently pressing it away from you. And as the balloon moves away, that closed fist around your heart starts to loosen. That sense of tightness and constriction eases. You look up again with your spiritual body, and that anger balloon is right on the horizon. You can see it, and you can feel that constriction in your heart. It's very subtle. And then the next time you look, that balloon is gone. It's slipped over the horizon. And that constriction in your heart is gone as well. With your spiritual body, you look up at the second balloon and you see in your handwriting the word fear. So my fear balloon, that handwriting is a little more shaky than it was for the anger balloon. It looked like it was a little bit harder for me to write. Notice where you feel fear in your body. For me, this is a tightness in my belly. Again, like somebody's holding a closed fist in my belly. And as you look up at that fear balloon, you feel that clenched fist in your belly, or wherever else it is that you notice fear in your body. And it is strong. You feel a little bit of light pressure in your hand as the wind presses that tethering string for the fear balloon. And as you look up at the fear balloon, you notice that it's starting to rise away from the other three balloons, until just the tail is hanging out of your hand. Then it slipped into your hand, and then it's gone. And immediately that clenched fist in your belly starts to release a little bit as well. As you look up in your spiritual body, that fear balloon is gently tracking higher up and further away. Gently, gently, gently. And that sense of fear in your body, in your belly, is slipping gently away too. And then your fear balloon is on the horizon. And the next time you look, it's gone. And that sense of fear in your belly is gone as well. With your spiritual body, you look up at your third balloon, and it says in your handwriting, shame. As soon as you see the shame balloon, you start to feel shame in your body. For me, this is a constriction in my groin, or sometimes the base of my pelvic floor. But wherever that is for you, notice that. Like with those last two balloons, with your spiritual body, you look up and that shame balloon is starting to lift away. That shame, the tethering string for the shame balloon is starting to slip between your fingers. And now it's out into the atmosphere, being gently pushed up by helium and away by the wind. And that sense of tightness in the pit of your stomach, in your groin, is slipping away too. When you look up, your shame balloon is right on the horizon, barely visible. And that embodied sense of shame is just barely noticeable too. And then they are both gone. With your spiritual body, you look up at the fourth balloon, and in your handwriting, it says doubt. When you see this balloon, you feel the doubt in your body. So notice where it is that you feel doubt. For me, doubt is sort of a pressure on my temples, or sort of a heaviness, sometimes a tightness of my eyes. So notice that. Send a breath toward those embodied sensations. And then you feel a little light pressure in your hand as that doubt balloon tether starts to be pulled away from you. And in spite of your hand being closed, the tethering string slips all the way through. The tightness in your temples, the heaviness on your eyes start to lighten. And that balloon gets further and further away, rising up, pressing away, gently away. And that embodied sense of doubt presses away as well. And then they are both gone. With your spiritual body, you look up at your fifth and final balloon. And you notice that written on that balloon is the word grief. When you see your grief balloon, you feel grief in your body. You feel grief in your body. So where is it that you feel it in your body? For me, again, a heaviness in my eyes, a heaviness on my heart, almost like a very, very heavy wet blanket is being pressed down, and it's pressing so heavily, it's hard for my heart to even beat. But the helium is lifting the balloon, and the wind is gently pressing it away to the degree that that tethering string slips out of your fingers. And that sense of heaviness, that weighting down of your heart starts to lighten. You look up at the balloon, and it's tracking across the horizon. And that heaviness lifts as the balloon gets further away. And then your balloon is on the horizon and slips over. And that sense of heaviness has slipped away too. Let's close with a deep cleansing breath, friends. Taking a deep, 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 deep inhale. Hold it at the top. And on your exhale, open your mouth, audibly sigh it out. Bring your thumbs up so they touch your sternum, hands at heart center. Thank you, friends, for allowing me to serve you this afternoon. May you be happy, may you be healthy, may you be safe, and may you know peace. Draw your thumbs up to your Ajna chakra, your third eye center. The spark of the divine in me recognizes, honors, and bows down before the spark of the divine in each of you. Namaste. Thank you, friends.